This is who the cameraman is fighting later. But we're gonna have a little Q&A first. This is Cris Cyborg, and who knows who that is? Who is that? Tell me about her. Not all at once.
Legend, yeah, greatest, one of the greatest women champions ever.
One of, you hear this?
Yeah.
You hear what he said? She won everything. She was UFC champion. She's champion at Strikeforce before they merged with UFC. Champion at Bellator. Champion at Invicta, and she's fighting for the PFL championship in a couple weeks.
Yes.
Oh, you're
October
going
19, 20 something days. Yes, almost there.
Yeah, so less than one month. She's fighting for the championship to four different major organizations. The four biggest organizations weren't enough, so she wants that fifth championship too. So she beat up, just about everybody. What is your early life like? I hear stories about you that you're training hard with the men down in Brazil, and everyone speaks with great respect. The men and women speak with great respect about you. That you're very tough, working hard. The men were mean to you. And but you show up and work hard and develop your skills, and the results are amazing. But what is this like when you first start training and thinking about fighting?
I started to play handball. It's like the Olympic Games. I say handball in America. They think I play with the wall. No, it's like the Olympic Games. And I started 12 to 19. I have a scholarship from I do track and fields. A lot of different sports. And when I was a teenager, I think it helped me get out of trouble a little bit in Brazil. And then when I was 19 years old at university, I was studying for education physician. And then one guy saw me play handball, and they said, "I think you can be a great fighter." And I looked at him, "I don't like fighting." He said, "No, you can be good." I said, "No, I don't like it." But he still talked to me every time he see me play handball. And then one time I show up at the gym and I watch a little bit of Muay Thai. And I said, maybe I can do this. So then I started doing some classes. And in 3 months, I told Rafael Cordeiro was the coach at Shooter Box. And then I told him, I would like to do one fight for see how it work. Because I always compete. So I'm afraid to compete because I compete in other sports. And then he closed one fight for me in 6 months. It was no Muay Thai, it was MMA. So I had to work a little bit, defend takedowns, something like this. And then I lost my first fight. But I did good. I was almost win. So, but dislocated my elbow in the fight. But after this fight, I said, I'm born for this. And now I believe all the sports I did before was for me be ready for be a great fighter, I don't have a lot of techniques because I started everything 19, but I have I was strong, I have a coordinate, So then I stay after this loss to 14 years undefeated, Just to win, training hard. I started learning, but I was really late in the sport because I started with 19. But now in the sport women's MMA because I was a beginner. So I always have a dream to be a world champion, but I don't have the place to be a world champion because that time now I have a lot of girls fighting. And then, but I have a dream, I want to be the best in the world. I want to fight like the guys can make more excited because the beginner people play around. The girls just to put the hair out, but they say, no, I want to make an exciting fight. Can KO girls and doing great fights. So then it started to open the door a little bit for me in Brazil and I do some fights. And then I have the opportunity to do some fights in America, then open the door for me a lot.
Well, so when was your first title? You start training in 19?
Yes, I started training in 2005. And then 2008, I did my first fight in America. I was already have a couple fights in Brazil. And then I fight for the first time in my career, 2009, when I fight against Gina Carano. I was the first time in main event, almost my main was a main event. And Scott Coker promoted the event and it made huge, opened the door for a lot of girls.
This is Strikeforce at that time?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Strikeforce was very legit. Jake Shields was champion over at Strikeforce.
Melendez, Gilbert
Melendez. Misha was over there.
Yes.
Was Ronda? Ronda was fighting at Strikeforce or no?
Yeah. Yes.
So there were a lot of top people. This organization was purchased by UFC later and merged into them. because they had a roster of like amazing talent that they merged together, and then the champions are fighting each other to be the UFC champion after they were merged together. But yeah, that was arguably more legit than Bellator. A lot of people don't know what the hell Bellator is, but there's a lot of talent there, but a lot of people don't know that name. But I think Strikeforce was like really high level,
Yes.
and
Yes. A lot of people went to UFC after and they did great too, from Strikeforce. Yes.
yeah. And then the smaller people from was it WEC, so Reed Harris's
Yes.
business, yeah. So you go beat up all the girls at Strikeforce. Then you got merged into UFC from there, or what happened next?
No, then have Strikeforce. No, we have Invicta. It's the only women's organization, only girls fight in this event. And then I start fight after Strikeforce. I went to Invicta, and I was fight against for the belt over there, and then being a world champion. And then I stayed a couple years with them, defending my titles. And then I was fighting for Invicta, but I had a contract with UFC after that. And then when having the people, my fans make one campaign for me fighting UFC. One time they pull one fight out in Brazil, and I have the opportunity to fight in Brazil in UFC in Brazil. It was like a special in my city actually. But I was catch weight, so I had to drop the weight. I was fight usually 145. This fight is supposed to be 140. Because everybody, we making like a promoter for me fight in the end, Ronda Rousey, 135. We're like we rivalry, each other. The fight didn't happen, but then they opened the division UFC 145 pounds because before they didn't have. And then I went to Invicta, got a belt, and after 2016 I did my first fight in UFC. And 2017 I got the belt, world champion in UFC.
Who did you win the belt from at UFC?
Supposed to fight GDR, but she was retired at the time, and they fight Tonya Evergan. Tonya Evergan.
Oh, gotcha. Wow.
Yes, that was a long journey. You look easy, but it was hard. And then after that, I fight UFC. I finished my contract. I lost my title for Amanda Nunes, Brazilian. I was a fight champion against champion. It was not that my night, but it's. I was broke the 14 years, and defeated my career. I feel like this. I don't have too many losses in my career. It's like 20 years. I'm gonna turn next year. I have 2 losses in my career. So I have to improve my game without the loss. It's really hard. You keep learning, keep improve, and have to have the mindset. Every time I defend my title, I have the mindset like I'm the contender number 1. I don't remember the title when I'm training. I remember I'm gonna fight for one more because this is make you hungry. Make you motivate to improve your game. I see this like if I have a little more maybe loss in my career, but I was maybe improve better. So after the Amanda Nunes fight, people say, "Oh, Cris, I feel like God have a plan for everything." And I believe I learned so much after that loss. I grow like a woman. I grow like a fighter, human being. I'm a better person. I learned a lot of things, and you can see like my fight before this fight, and you see how I fight now. It's smarter. I feel like I have some mistakes that fight because we have a lot of trash talk in the fighting. I usually don't go into this because I don't like it, but a lot of stress around. So I was thinking no touching me, but in the end I feel like yes, making me more angry in the fight. And when you fight anger, you don't think smarter, you do some mistake. So this is the one of the things I bring with me, and I'm better fighter now than before. After all this, I got the Bellator title.
I never like to ask people questions that maybe they don't want to answer, but why no rematch? What was I know you wanted the rematch, yeah?
Yes. The reality, really, we asked the rematch, and then Amanda Nunes say, I'm not gonna give a rematch for her. She said, because I guess that we don't have the contract like the rematch. So I have fight her. We don't have anything this. So if she's 135, she comes up to my division, and then she says she was not gonna give the rematch. And then I sit down with the UFC. We already have a hard time, me and Dana White. Everybody know the novella. So we have a really hard time. And we don't get into the negotiation. The money is really low. So that I feel like, okay, I want to finish my contract. And I want to see the option I can have. Because before I came to UFC, I was already have big name. So then I say, okay, I want to finish my contract. And I want to see what's the option I have outside UFC. And this I did. I did my last 5 UFC one against, I remember her name, Felicia Spencer. I was in Canada. It was a great fight. I beat her, and then I was free. And then I started to see the best options I have. And the Bellator was the best purse payment I did in my career. I feel like, okay, I can stay in UFC getting less money and feed my ego because I want the rematch for Amanda Nunes, or I prefer getting paid better and they can think about my future, my retirement, and maybe one day this fight can come back, And then I choose this fight, I choose better there, and she says she don't want to give the rematch for me, and then the low money, so I choose, okay, put the ego on the side, think about my future, and I prepare everything for my retirement. I think it was the smart thing that I did in my career. And then if one day the the fight can come back, they can, But she retired now, and I continue fighting. And now I go to my 5th title in my career.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. She talks about coming back. So I think people would love to see that rematch. I think
everybody would like to see the rematch.
Difficult for her to have the same result the 2 times,
I think after she fought Pena, and then she's lost, and I think she said, I remember retiring with 2 titles. She beat her, and then I don't know, maybe she'll come back. She's young, so let's see.
Those Brazilian girls.
Yes.
What are some thoughts or questions you folks have for Cris and I? Yes, sir.
Derek, first of all, thanks for being Cris. It was a pleasure to listen to your story. And we talked a lot about at these events about how important it is to spend your time with the right people. And especially, I think the older you get, the more successful you are, you kind of more consciously choose to who you spend time with. And especially when you started to become successful in your early stage, did you were so conscious at that time that you already chose with which people you hang out with, or was it like kind of a lucky situation? For example, you talked about that guy at your handball games that came up to you telling you, yeah, you should be a fighter. And I'm sure, Derek, you also had some people that you maybe just luckily met who gave you some great insights or great tips on what to do with your life when you were young. Could you comment a little bit on that?
In an unorthodox way, I'm going to talk about her for a moment. That everyone that you see how all the Brazilians are at my place training with me. So Royce Gracie is there all the time. Gilbert Burns, Glover Teixeira, Lyoto Machida, 5 more, Claudia all the time. So all these people tell me stories. If her name comes up, they talk about her, training hard with the men. She's at Shoot Box and is at Vanderlei Silva's gym. Her reputation at that, that part of her life is like nobody knows who she is yet. 15 years ago, and she's doing things that women just don't do. She's training hard, and the men are not nice to the women in Brazil at this time. That Claudia tells stories that when she first is going to the jiu-jitsu gym, like they don't want her to be on the mat. That's a place for the men. Like it's not like an open, happy environment where people are welcome. So some of the men are intentionally rough and mean, that they'd like the woman to quit and go home. So those are things that I hear. I don't want to speak for her, but those are things that I hear about her early life. That this is very tough. It's very tough to do those type of things. That people don't want you there necessarily. It's not an easy life. So you have to be a very determined person to tolerate those early things, and like you don't know that you're going to be fighting for your 5th title later.
Yes. Even in the beginning of my career, My mom wanted to be dentist. It was her dream for me. But I told her, Mom, I can take two out. But, I was playing around with her. But the beginning, because it's no sport, like huge sport, then no big for the girls. So my mom think, this is no good for you. And then, so I have to step up a little bit against my family. And I said, no, I want to be a fighter. But it was hard because I have the dream, but you don't see anywhere. I came from the big gym, shoot the box, but all the guys fight in Japan. And the Japan don't give opportunity for the girls too. It's big opportunity for the girls. But I was keep working hard. I say, when the opportunity come, I'm gonna be ready. But it's hard when everything you believe in your dream and you want to keep working hard, but around you, a lot of people don't believe now. But I keep you focused on the one thing. Be stubborn. I think be stubborn is one of the things that I really keep me on the track for my career. And of course, like you said, for this 20 years, like a lot around people, like when I say, I'm gonna go to Bellator, I'm not gonna stay UFC, a lot of people, even my coach say, why are you doing this? So, then they're not happy, they don't understand. So have a lot of people like, and then when you lose too, so you start to see who's your close friends, who's really with you. So this is type of things like your trainer is really good, you think you're good. So when you have this type of things like losing stuff or lose one fight or have a hard time in your career, hard time in your life, you see really who with you. You make them clean up. And then your next step, you're going to be better because you already selected the people around you. So it's really important to make you grow. So I think this is really nice to have. I know it's tough times, but the tough times you learn a lot of things.
Yeah, for my personal situation was it's very costly to be around stupid people. It's not nice to say this, but it's just true. It's very costly that you have to. It's like you have to pay an extra tax for their stupidity, and the dumb problems. They bring problems to you. They cause problems that don't need to exist, and I think it's very important to work hard and earn your place of if you're around better people, that people that are thinking more clearly, working more hard, have real goals, working towards goals. And I think the foundation of any friendship, which I said many times, is three things: that you have to have similar values, meaning that you can trust each other, that you have similar ethics or morals. I'm not religious at all, but if you could trust that person to do the things they say they're going to do. And then, also similar goals that, maybe she has her skills and I have my skills, but we both want to be over there. So if we know we can trust each other and we want to be closer to there, and then we have differentiated skills that I can help her solve problems that would be difficult for her, but is easy for me. She could teach me some things that would be difficult for me to learn without her, but is easy for her. This is a beautiful friendship.
It's a team, no?
No, if you can trust each other, we both go in there. There's things I can help you with. There's things you can help me with. Everything is beautiful.
Yeah.
Everything is great. When you spend time with the wrong people, they don't have values. They're going to steal from you, lie to you, cause problems in your life. They don't have goals.
Yeah.
And they don't have skills either. So what are you going to do together?
Yeah.
If you're missing any one of those three things, what are we going to do together? What if the person is they have a lot of skills and the same goals, but you can't trust them at all? What are we going to do together? So what if you can trust them, but they have no goals? What are we going to do together? But what if you can trust them and they have goals, but they have no skills? So now you're like dealing with a child. Like the child's not going to hurt you, but it's not going to help you much either. You're going to be taking care of the child. So I think you need those three things to have a real friendship or partnership of some kind. I think that's very important. So I don't want to when I meet somebody, if I don't see those three things, better for me to spend time with someone else. Plenty of people, be easy to spend time with. We're going to help each other. We're going to be good for each other. Everything is good. Good and getting better. It's better this way.
You watch this video all the way through, and that tells me you're dedicated to learning more and earning far above average outcomes in your life. Congratulations for that. but now it's time to take action. If you could have earned those results by yourself, you would have done it already. My head coach has opened up a few spots on his high-demand calendar for an in-person, one-on-one strategy session to help you. On this call, we'll give you the pragmatic advice that you can implement tonight to get laser-focused on the right metrics and leave mediocrity far behind in your past. Click that link right now in the description below and apply for your call immediately. Do it now.